Tomorrow, unemployment numbers. Will they also beat? Meantime, student loan debt forgiveness, $50,000 or $10,000? Depends on who on the Capitol Hill you ask. President says go smaller. Democrats say go bigger. And then unemployment, same question. President says go smaller. Democrats saying go bigger. Is this the push for more stimulus? And what about SSI and SSDI? Is this the door to drive the truck through to get more stimulus across the board in your third stimulus package? I have all the big details, and this is Evenings LALATE. Thank you for joining me on a big evening of Evenings LALATE, live from Los Angeles. Boy, it is cold once again, but it's not as cold here in California as it is in the Midwest. Tonight, there is 3.8 million businesses and residents without power again in Texas. This number comes after 4 million the day before and 4 million the day before that. The concern about fixing the grid to deal with the cold spur continues to erupt. Federal disaster area has been announced, but as a winter chill is expected to roll back in later this week, could we be going back to a bad situation? Meantime, the day started with confusing financial news, and more financial news will be delivered tomorrow that all impacts your stimulus. When looking to stimulus, hey, Chris, thank you for that was very quick. Hey, Chris, thank you for becoming the Purple Hawk. Welcome to the family. If you want to become a Purple Hawk like Chris, check the link at the top of chat or in the description to become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power Calcino VIP. As a member, you get access to PDFs before anyone else. PDFs that delineate what's in the third stimulus package. Because in the third stimulus package, only one item, the check, is automatic. Everything else is not automatic. So you want to ensure that you get the money before anyone else. Number two, you get alerts when new video goes live. This channel is now sending out alerts to members so that you can get a specialized alert by your email when a new video goes live. And when the new LALATE rolls out, you're going to want those alerts. Meantime, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Thank you for the couple hundred people that subscribed today as well. We're growing in subscribers again. And help us reach 100 million views. We're at 99 million. We're trying to reach 100 million by the end of the 9th month. A YouTube record, a broadcasting TV record no one has ever done in the history of broadcasting. And Sir Lawrence says hello as well. Also like this video. The big detail is in the numbers. The minutia is in the numbers. We woke up this morning with the retail sales numbers, and it just absolutely blew it out of the water. No one saw this number coming. Insiders were expecting 1.6 rise, 1.4 rise. No one expected anything like this. 24 hours ago, this channel reported that economists on Wall Street were expecting retail sales to rise 1.2% today, shortly before sunrise. In December, they fell 0.7%. And the expectation today was an improvement based upon that $600 stimulus check you got in December. This, of course, is the January retail sales. It's how much money you spent in retail stores in the month of January based upon consumer spending. It also includes vehicle spending. And this is what they had said going into today. I think the main narrative is that the things turned around. November, December were getting quite negative, and the virus was gaining momentum. People were hunkering down in November, but in January, you had an unwind to a little extent. A little extent? The number crushed it. As Nancy Pelosi would say, we crushed the number. The number came in at over 5%. It was absolutely through the roof. Moreover, cost of goods sold had its single highest rise of in a single 30-month period in over 2 decades. What's going on here? Well, tonight, economists reassessed how they missed this benchmark so dramatically, and they think it was because of the $600 stimulus check. They think it's because of the $600 stimulus check. And now they're saying that as soon as that $1,400 stimulus check goes out, you could see this again. Now, I have 2 big news about the check tonight that I want you to understand. I said it in one of the videos before, but I don't think it's something I should not stop saying. First, the amount of, hey, Sonia, thank you for the dancing pear. I really appreciate it. It's a strange camera angle. We're getting ready for the new LLite, so I appreciate the living with me and the strange camera angles and being outside and inside. So we're modifying things to get ready for the new LLite. It is not just a new potted plant behind me. The new LLite is not just a new hairstyle, some different flavor $12 ice cream. Trust me, it's a little bit more than that. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited. We're a few days away from it. The excitement is that if you're missing a first or second stimulus check, $1,200 and $600, which adds up to $3,000 on Larry Kudlow's calculator. No, it adds up to $1,800. If you're missing one of them, missing two of them, missing both of them, then guess what? You go to irs.gov and they got a wonderful new free application on the website so you can file your tax return today and get those stimulus checks delivered to your house or your residence or your bank account ASAP. ASAP. If you want to use an online tax preparer, even better. Even better. I had one very, very nice long-time viewer who said, LLA, please tell viewers, I'm on SSI and SSDI. You told me very clear that yes, I don't have to file tax returns, but I may file tax returns. There's nothing in the law that prohibits a person from filing a tax return. There's a difference between having to and choosing to. The person chose to file the tax return because she was told by me that filing the tax return would get those two unpaid stimulus checks. She went to a major online tax preparer. I think she went in person actually, and she got $1,800 in 48 hours. Let me make it very clear. Don't beat around the bush with this. SSI, SSDI, I know you don't have to file tax returns. You can file a tax return and get those checks if you're missing checks. If you're not missing checks, then, just eat the donut. Just get back to your donut. I'll see you in a few minutes after this recording. If you're missing checks, that's a whole other discussion. All right, next, under the third stimulus package, you're getting a $1,400 stimulus check, $1,400 for children, $1,400 for adult dependents, $2,800 for married couple. But there's more. Behind curtain number one, there's more. I'm going to go over slowly. I'm back with you 30 minutes after this recording with another show that'll go over this third stimulus package items more in detail. So I just want to broadly go over it here in this recording. If you're a business owner, you're going to get a $5,000 EIDL grant plus a $1,400 stimulus check. If you are a college student, you'll get a $1,700 college student financial aid plus a $1,400 stimulus check. If you're an essential worker who makes less than $25,000, you will get $1,500 plus a $1,400 stimulus check. If you're an essential worker of any magnitude, you'll get hazard pay, an amount we don't know yet, plus $1,400. If you are if you're a parent if you're a person who had to stay home from work because of one of these extra circumstances, you'll get up to $1,400 a week for paid sick leave plus $1,400 stimulus check. If you're a parent with children, you'll get $1,400 plus $3,600 for every child, five to newborn, or $3,000 from 17 to 6 plus $1,400. There you go. Really, really exciting, great news. Now, what's happening tomorrow morning? In addition to the fact that the casino is going to have Friday tip-off night. Tomorrow is going to be the new jobless numbers. And I got to tell you, last week the jobless numbers were not as good as expected. They were worse. They went this way. They went up. They didn't go up an enormous amount, but they're still in the 760, 770, 780. They're not a good number. But the continuing unemployment number was really bad. It was 20 million. So the number you want to watch for tomorrow, and you're going to hear first on this channel, it's shortly after sunrise, is the continuing unemployment number. That is the single most important number for stimulus. I'll explain to you why. No one thinks that that Tesla owners need stimulus. No one thinks that Fortune 500 companies need stimulus. The people who need stimulus are people who make less than that threshold. And the vast majority of people who make less than $45,000 a year are facing what's called continuing unemployment. Continuing unemployment means you have been unemployed more than 6 months. Well, how many months has it been since the pandemic started? We're approaching almost a year since the pandemic started, and there's 20 million people currently unemployed, and of that, 40% are at least 6 months unemployed. That's the number, that's the magic number that will really determine the push by Democrats for stimulus because they'll see, hey, there's a lot of people who have not rebounded. Now, here's the other rub. The Federal Reserve, that guides economic policy, looks at that number more than any other number. Jerome Powell told us last week. He looks at the number because if you're still unemployed, you're not getting better, you're getting worse. You just can't make bills. Situation is continuing. That is the number we look at. Now, you certainly start this recording with the consumer spending number. That's good, but that's not what we're talking about for stimulus always. And that's why it's a big issue. Ron Wyden had an issue with economic data, and he is the Democrat from Oregon who wants $600 a week of FPUC. My starting point here is going to be my legislation would reinstate the $600 a week and tie additional weeks of benefits and the program to economic conditions. What are those economic conditions? Well, at the time, Ron Wyden talked about a Yale University survey that found that if you gave people $600 a week, they don't stay at home because of the check. There was that sort of defeated the Republicans' contention that FPUC discourages people from returning to work. Untrue. Untrue. And that's what Jerome Powell says, the head of the Federal Reserve. He says that you need to have enough stimulus so people get back to work. With 12 minutes on the clock, let me give you the big update where we are in the evenings of LA-Lite. This is part one of a doubleheader tonight. The video right after this, I'm going to go over the third stimulus items one by one by one. I'm going to go over how you can get all this money. I'm going to go over rent. I'm going to go over first and second stimulus. But right now, I'm going to go over those 5 or 6 groups for checks. Let's hit them right now. But first, if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. There's 600 people in the room, 270 likes. Make sure you subscribe. It's important that you follow this channel because you can get the most in-depth coverage of what's happening across the board. Also, if you're not becoming a member, consider becoming a member. The stimulus checks for the businesses, $5,000 EIDL grant. It says EIDL grant plus something, so we still have to see what the plus is. $5,000 plus a $1,400 stimulus check for the owner. Now, there's also the PPP under the second stimulus. You can go get that money right now, and there's also second stimulus. There's also a PPP under the third stimulus for the business owner. So you can go actually higher. Then the college student, $1,700 plus $1,400. That financial aid, we don't know much about it, so we're waiting to see it in the third stimulus package. Next, paid sick leave. This is really helpful. So this is $1,400 a week based upon a $73,000 annual salary. So let's say you made $35,000, you'll get half of that. And the trigger points are you have to stay home because you have COVID. Your family members has COVID, so you have to stay home. Your child's school is closed because of COVID. You have to stay home, or you have to quarantine, or you have COVID. And that's a lot of money, $1,400 a week plus your $1,400 stimulus check. Then the parents and the kids, wow, they got all this stuff. If you're a parent of 7, if you have 7 kids under the age of 5, congratulations. I don't know how you do it, but you're getting a $35,000 stimulus check approximately. That's $5,000 for every kid under the age of 5 and younger. And then if your kids are a little bit older, you get $3,000 plus $1,400 for every kid from 6 to 17. Uh, the rollout. Hey, Ashley, thank you for the dancing bear. The rollout continues, and other groups in this third stimulus get money as well. But in the video after this, I'm going to go over how you can get money from second stimulus right now. It's law. How you can get money from rent right now. I don't want you to wait 5 days from now, not 5 weeks from now, not 5 months from now. I want you to get this money for rent right now. Now, if you're watching this video and you're like, I need the rent, and I sort of know what you're going to say in the video after this, then reach out to the volunteers. They're in the pinned descriptions of the video. They're also at the top of this chat. They can help you with rent, utilities, and food right now. Start your email when you send them by saying, hi, I'm from this city and county, and this is what I need help with: rent, utilities, food. All right, let's cut back. Also tomorrow, we'll see the housing starts, which will really determine a lot of questions across the board. The day also had some really, really interesting and collaterally great news for SSI and SSDI. Hey, Gene, thank you for the dancing bear. I really appreciate it. Some really good news for SSI and SSDI. That was collateral. How did it come? It came from a very clear mentality, which is now the sort of push of this channel, which is I don't roll over. It came when Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren had, before Inauguration Day, told Joe Biden, you got to do a $50,000 student loan debt forgiveness. He's like, no. Well, you got to do it by executive order. No. Well, what's wrong? We'll do it by bill, Chuck. I'm not going to do it by executive order. Okay, Joe, I'll do it by bill. Liz and I will write up the bill. They wrote up the bill. And then they went to go meet him about 2 weeks ago. They said, hey, we wrote a bill. We introduced it to the Senate. And we also have a draft executive order. He's like, not going to do it. Well, how about the bill? I'll think about it. Yeah, I'll think about it. So he thought about it. And today he said, no, not going to do it. Not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'll do $10,000, Chuck, but I'm not going to do $50,000. Guess what Chuck and Liz's response is? We ain't going to roll over. We ain't going to roll over. Now, this is just sort of refreshing. It really is, because when you talk about political parties, you talk about the herd, you talk about the tribe, that they all sort of move together. They're like cows in a herd. They go, there's Nancy. Oh, there's Nancy. Let's go. They sort of move together. And we thought we were going to see that again for 4 more years, where everyone just sort of moves together, that no one has an opinion. Spine? What's a spine? I don't know what a spine is. They just, oh, Nancy, yeah, let's go that way. Oh, let's go this way. Okay. And we just see that for 4 more years. Well, they're not going to do that anymore. What happened now is we realize that the Democrats will stand up to Joe Biden, and Chuck Schumer will stand up to Joe Biden if they don't think the stimulus is big enough. And the stimulus is really where we're heading. Chuck Schumer and Liz Warren says, no, 50,000 is not 10,000. It needs to be $50,000. Ron Wyden, same thing. Ron Wyden, no. Let me read you Ron Wyden's quote. Now, understand Chuck and Liz are saying, no, we're not going to roll over. Well, let me read you what Ron Wyden said. He said, the president served in the Senate, and he knows all these issues are in the negotiation. So how does this help your SSI and SSDI? It absolutely categorically helps your SSI and SSDI, right to the point. It helps it because Liz Warren and Chuck Schumer wrote the SSI bill that gives you the $200 a month, that gives you the 20% increase, that gives you the benchmark of CPI, not COLA. They wrote it in March. And they don't need to wait around for Joe Biden to decide to talk about you. If we're sitting here saying, why isn't Joe talking about me? We don't have to wait for Joe to talk about you. We just have to get Liz and Chuck to reintroduce their bill. It's as simple as that. They got to reintroduce the bill to the Senate that they wrote in March of 2020 and just reintroduce it, just change the date. And you may ask me, well, is Joe going to veto it? Will we not sign it? Well, guess what? How do you think this would look if you ran for president and you said you're going to do it in writing? You got elected, and then your transition papers say in writing you're going to do it. And then you get the bill on your table because a YouTube channel pushed Liz, because a YouTube channel and it's 380 million viewers, 380,000 followers pushed Liz and Chuck to get it to reintroduce this bill. And that YouTube channel and its followers pushed Liz and Chuck to get that bill reintroduced. It got introduced. It got passed in the Senate. It got passed in the House. And then you land on the president's table and says, no, I'm not going to do it. I just think, yeah, it would be not a good sign. It would just not be a good day for Joe Biden if he literally went that route. It's as simple as that. This is, oh my God, Ella, you do that good. It's actually that's how it is. I mean, is it blackmail? No. Is it political ambushing? Sure, it's political ambushing. You make a promise about something, then you don't do it. So I'm going to go get someone else to do it and then give it to you and then see if you don't sign it. Because guess what? If you don't sign it, the toast is toasted. And I'm not referring to breakfast. So yeah. By the way, the camera angle is below me, so I'm seeing some comments that say you look really tired. The camera angle, everything is different because we're preparing for the new Allight. So the camera angle is not complimentary. This is not how you this is not how you position your camera angle. This is basic filming. The camera angle should always be above or at level. It's way below me. So I probably have like 7 chins at the moment. I probably look like I ate sirloin. I probably have more bags than than the garbage collector outside of Nancy's house. So yeah, I certainly I've seen some of the comments. Just this is what you endure to get things right. Yeah, no, it's the camera angle. It's the camera angle. Yeah, it's very funny because Kardashians would always say this. It's like, did she have a facelift? Did she have a nose job? No, it's just contouring. No, it's just the camera angle. No, it's just the filter. It's actually true. It's actually true. Like if I move the camera up 5 inches, you would see, oh my God, you lost 10 pounds in 4 minutes. How'd you do that? Because the camera angle's not good. So if you ever aspire to be a YouTube creator, don't put the camera below you. You put it above you. There's actually an old Real Housewives joke where you just sort of always take selfies way above you because it makes it look like you're like 2 years old. And there you go. 23 minutes on the clock. Let me answer some of your incredible questions and comments from yesterday's recording. If I can find them. Oh, here they are. Dusty Genesi. Oh, someone just joined. I didn't see that. That was Lacey Elderidge. Everyone welcome Lacey to the family. How are you, Lacey? Welcome to the family. How are you? Lacey, Dusty Genovese says, if they weren't so worried about the former president, they would have had an entire week to get stuff done. Now most of the South is in a state of emergency, and they're still moving slower than molasses in winter. I love that. She's right. She or he is right. Absolutely. Takahara Menez. If she doesn't do it, she still wanted our vote for the 2 elections. Seniors, SSDI recipients, we the veterans will not forget. I think that's referring to Liz Warren. SOCOM 3173. They can't go as big as they want if they don't plan on following through. MS. Individual payments should be at least $5,000. Time to do something. It ain't getting better, people. So this person's having an issue with the children getting $5,000 stimulus checks and once adults having a $5,000 stimulus checks. Wendy McCarney. They keep on talking, but they aren't doing a darn thing. Get Americans the damn help they need and deserve. The timing of the stimulus check is an issue of frustration for everyone. My answer to you is, if you need help with rent or utilities or food, tune into the video after this. I want to ensure that I can get you help with rent and utilities right now, because it's important that you get that money right now, not 5 months from now, not 5 weeks from now. And the stimulus check will come thereafter. There's also a lot of help that I'm going to get you in the video after this on second stimulus. Jesus Carranza, he should have sent the stimulus faster instead of taking his darn time. These are Biden's words when he was campaigning. We need stimulus. Very well said. And Kroll, no one cares about people are hurting here. Chris Puitz, what about SSI and SSDI veterans? We should get a raise. MS, these businesses are closed up, boarded up, and now parking lots. Where are all these people going to work? So that's a great comment. That's one of the big things I talk about on this channel, which is 500,000 businesses are gone. And if we reopen the economy, which we will in May, those businesses will not just reopen. People put their life savings to start those businesses. So we need something else. Joe Biden, on that big, wonderful press announcement in prime time 2 weeks ago, said there's going to be a loan to go start a new business. We hope we see that, because those 500,000 businesses are gone. Phil Johnson, way too much for children. It's not fair to taxpayers. James Kennedy, just give us a stimulus check and let us spend it on the businesses that need the help. Kim McKinney, they need to quit talking about it and do it. Scott Dottie Giggs, I'm sorry, I'm having problems with the children getting these checks. Since the parents are getting stimulus checks, unemployment, possible rental assistance, why would all those people get stimulus checks? So Kim has a very good point, and I don't want to go negative on anything, but here's the analysis Kim's doing. This is Kim's analysis. A parent can get rent assistance, food assistance, utility assistance, broadband, unemployment, FPUC, which is on top of unemployment, and then their stimulus checks. So the parent can get almost 8 things. Oh, they can get paid sick leave also. Oh, they can get hazard pay as well. And then we're not even to the child. So a parent who's an essential worker who gets FPUC could literally just clean up. Tens of thousands of dollars before we get to the child. And then the child's getting a $5,000 stimulus check. That's the analysis Kim is doing. She's correct. That's what these legislators don't think about. They don't think about, wait a second, is this person getting stimulus for something else in our package? Because if it's an essential worker who's also a parent, who's also laid off, they're cleaning up. And this is not the first time you heard it on this channel. I told you before that a lot of these provisions were duplicative. But great comment. Actually, that was Dottie. Excuse me, I gave the wrong credit. It was Dottie Grims with that comment. Thank you, Dottie, for that great comment. Pamela Jones, if people would stay the hell out of Walmart, the stimulus would go up. I don't know what that means. Stimulus goes up if you stay out of Walmart? I don't know what that means. Jose Liberto. So depends this time we're actually getting something. That's what he said, right? $1,400. Yes, for a stimulus this time, dependents are getting $1,400. They were supposed to get $3,200. That is something that is no bueno. It's supposed to be $3,200. Oh, with 28 minutes on the clock and 800 people in the room and 500 likes, let me give you the big update. But first, like this video. Let's see if we get another 200 people in the room. And let me answer some of your questions on the screen. Actually, we have a few minutes. Let me answer some of your questions on the screen before we slide into the video after this. I'm caring for my spouse, but do I get paid sick leave? So, yeah, if your spouse has COVID, then you qualify for what is the conceptual idea of paid sick leave if you're staying home from work to take care of your spouse. Adult dependents should get $5,000. Hello, everybody, says John. Yeah, don't forget about that, says someone else. I'm behind on a few vids. I have no idea what you're talking about, so I don't know when did kids get more. That's not a few videos. That's like, that's a couple days. But don't worry, join me on the video after this because in the video after this, I go over every item in the third stimulus package really slowly so you understand what you get, and that will be detailed in that video. If I take care of my hubby, can I get paid by the state? Uh, well, paid sick leave is based upon the concept you stayed home from work to take care of a spouse or family member that got COVID. How do we get the higher amount of child tax refund if we already submitted our taxes? Great question. So the child tax credit is prepaid in the month of July for the year 2021. So the child tax credit they're going to be paying you $3,000 or $3,600 is for the 2021 year, not the 2020 year. It sounds weird, but that's the way they're doing it. Does Biden have to read the bill before it's signed? He has to do something with the bill. He has to look at the bill. He has to sign it. He doesn't have to necessarily read it. That was a funny question. Does the president have to read the bill before he signs? He does not have to read it. He can just sign it. Will the child tax credit replace the current one? If so, when will be next year? Yes, it will replace the current one for 1 year, and it'll be for next year, but you'll get paid this year. Lacey, wow, I guess a lot of people have not been watching videos because, yeah, the child tax credit is paid this year. It's paid this year for next year's taxes. I'll explain more of it on the video after this. I'm getting some of these questions I'm getting have been, boy, interesting. I stay at home and teach my son who's 6 years old, and I don't go to work as a full-time job teaching. Ellie, thank you for answering my question. No problem, Ashley. Join me on the video right after this one, and I will delineate this and more. I'm going to go through all the deal provisions of the third stimulus package one after another, and I'll be covering all the details. All right, let me give you the big update of the 32-minute mark. Any sirloin updates? He is good. The big update as we sit here tonight is that the president said he will not sign Elizabeth Warren and Chuck Schumer's $50,000 student loan debt forgiveness bill, and he won't do it by executive order. He doesn't want to do $50,000. He said he'll do $10,000, to which they said, we're not rolling over. If that message sounds familiar, it should. Several Democrats have now said they're not rolling over either. For the first time in a very, very long time, people in the same political party are telling their leader they're not rolling over. If they don't like something, they're pushing back. And now we have no less than 5 Democrats that are pushing back on items of the third stimulus package. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It just means they're trying to modify the numbers. This is great news for SSI and SSDI because ultimately all you have to do is take Elizabeth Warren and Chuck Schumer's bill and introduce it to the Senate because that's where it was before. And it was there in March of 2020, reintroduce it. Hey, Mark, thank you for the super chat. Reintroduce it to the Senate because that's where it was in March of 2020. And then if the president doesn't sign it, then he's toast because this is exactly what he promised on the campaign trail. Tomorrow morning, you're going to see the new economic data coming from Wall Street about unemployment numbers. You're going to see 2 numbers. The new unemployment claims, expect to be somewhere around 760, 780, and the number of continuing unemployment claims. That's the one you want to really look at because there's 20 million unemployed people currently in the country, and 4 million of them are continuing unemployment, over 6 months of unemployment. If that number continues to grow, that's more reason to go bigger and bolder on your stimulus. The day started with really surprisingly great news that in the month of January, consumer spending was at 5% when Wall Street was expecting 2%. And that was after a month in which we were down. But the day also came with news that consumer price of goods, how much you pay for milk and eggs, went up for the highest amount it had gone up in almost 2 months. Bottom line is, don't worry. The Federal Reserve says he's not changing any economic policy. But the real focus for you for stimulus should be to watch for that continuing unemployment number tomorrow. Finally, if you're on SSI and SSDI, you're just tuning in for the first time ever, and you're missing a first or a second stimulus check, go to irs.gov and there's an online free tool to file your tax return. Remember, you are allowed to file a tax return. Not filing a tax return or not having to file a tax return is different than voluntarily filing a tax return. Also, go to an online tax preparer, as one viewer did, and that viewer got their stimulus check of $1,800, $1,600 plus $1,200 in just a few days. It's as simple as that. I'll see you next in just 3 minutes from now on the continuation of this video. And I don't want to miss any of you, so make sure you subscribe, like this video, and consider becoming a member. Stay in tune, stay focused, and stay alive for more.